What is going on, everybody? I'm Rob Westerman of GBP Daily, and I am here, like I am every day, to talk with you guys about some Packers football. Thanks for joining me. Let's dive in here. Training camp practice is about to be underway here in a little over 30 minutes. Nothing too crazy happened in yesterday's practice. Defense showed out, as it has been so far this training camp. Sean Gary being pretty vocal. I think he's one of the new leaders of this team. Obviously, Jordan Love with the twos during 2-minute drill yesterday didn't do so hot, threw a pick to Vernon Scott to end the session, and therefore the defense won the drill. I haven't heard a whole lot of negatives on Love so far this training camp, so it is still early. I'm eager to see what he plays like in the preseason because just like everybody else, we haven't seen a whole lot from him just because he hasn't been on the field since we drafted him. So missed the first season. Preseason because of COVID, never was on, never did the preseason games, wasn't active during his first year. Last year he was hurt during the preseason games. So excited to see him when he gets out there. Injury report here, no new injuries and no players brought off the injury list. So some good news as far as nobody being added and some not okay or good news with nobody coming off of it. That was as of yesterday. So we'll find out here in a little bit if anybody has been added or taken off the injury list. I did think O-lineman went down. I can't think of his name yesterday and left practice. So we will see today. Let's dive into the comment section. Thank you guys for joining me. FF Pack Princess repping from the UK. Again, thanks for joining me. Let me try and set this up. I am glitching all over the place here. Right. That is that. So, Jack Saylor, thanks for joining. Cheesehead 232-323, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. I'm just on here chatting Packers every single day, Monday through Friday. I'm going to try and do it around 10 a.m. in the morning. So, if you guys can join me, I'd appreciate it. Shane Clemmer, go Pack, go. Love the emojis, love the beer emojis. Let's see here. Grant Church, thanks for joining me, man. I appreciate it. trying to fix something here. Sorry for the delay. We are good. All right. KMP, thanks for joining. If you just hopping on, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. The Realvis, thanks for joining. If you guys are just hopping on, nothing too crazy happening. Training camp practice on just over 30 minutes. I will be up there on Friday for family night, and I'll be staying the weekend until Monday, and then I'll be back up in a couple weeks for the Saints preseason game. Heading to a Randall Cobb signing the next day up in Appleton, so pretty pumped about that. FF Pack Princess, going to see the Packers for the first time ever in London. You were probably one of the lucky few that were able to get some tickets, so good for you. I know that was pretty hectic as far as people hopping online and trying to get those, and I think they sold out pretty quick. So, Shane, what is the latest on Christian? That is a great question. Not a whole lot's come out on Christian. I didn't know. Listened to LaFleur earlier this week, late last week, and he didn't have any new updates. He said it, sounds like he might be a couple of weeks out. But obviously in his absence, Romeo Dobbs has been kind of taking over practice, which is good. He's getting some shots with the ones, with the twos. He's back on kick return, punt return. So Christian Watson, no updates from Christian. I do see him walking down training camp and signing autographs and stuff. He seems to be in good spirits. So hopefully it won't be anything too long term. It'd be nice to see him in the preseason and get him out there and just kind of, get him acclimated to the speed of everything and build that connection with Rodgers. And yeah, so brown yellow. Is there a good chance Tyler Goodson makes the 53-man roster? It sounds like he's having a good training camp. You obviously got Jones, Dillon, Patrick Taylor, Baylor, the other running back, and then Goodson. I wouldn't mind seeing Tyler Goodson. I also wouldn't be surprised if they just kept two running backs with a thought of getting Tyler Goodson, getting Patrick Taylor back on the practice squad. And with the new practice squad rules, you can call them up 3 times and put them back down. So I think that's probably a safe bet that either Tyler Goodson, yes, will make the roster. If I had to bet, I would say he probably does not make the initial roster, but with the hope of bringing him back in the practice squad. So I'm a Badger fan, so we play Iowa in the Big Ten, obviously, and he was good for them. So I know he put up some good numbers back in college. I wouldn't mind seeing him making the roster. Colin Hill is close to being back too, right? Yeah, a buddy of mine, Easton on Twitter, talked to him 2 days ago, I believe, and he said that he's going to be ready for week 1, which obviously that's what he's saying. He ultimately doesn't have the end-all decision as far as getting cleared and whatnot, but that's his plan. He's going to be ready for week 1. And if so, you got to think that he's got the leg up on, Tyler Goodson, Patrick Taylor, Baylor, but you never know. You miss all training camp if that's the case, unless they activate him beforehand. But towards ACL and that nasty kickoff return and anything with ACL, I'm kind of just holding my breath, obviously, as far as what we went through with David. So what do we got here? Steve Lambo, how has Love looked? I was just talking about it a few minutes ago. I don't think I've seen too many negative things on him so far this training camp. Besides yesterday, the number 2 offense was doing the 2-minute drill. He threw a pick. First play, I think, was a little 5-yard out. It was behind. It was an incomplete. Second play, it was a 3-yard completion on kind of the same play. And they didn't get out of bounds, so clock's running. And then ultimately, at the end of the drill, he threw a pick to Vernon Scott. And therefore, the defense won the drill. So probably not the best practice out of him yesterday, but I also haven't heard anything else too negative from him. So I would say overall, from my perspective, he's doing all right. His footwork seems to be a lot better from what the footage I've seen. I haven't been there yet. I'll be there this weekend. kind of get a better idea as far as how he's looking out there and his vibe when I get up there. So how's the O-line looking? Groose 91. Any takes? Any takes? Well, regardless of how they're looking, D-Box not out there, Elton's not out there. So without those two guys, potentially all pro guys, obviously Elton can play anywhere. I'd be concerned if Elton or if Davis not out there week 1 with the guys we have, but we got Zach Tom, we got a couple rookies that could step in, Sean Ryan. It might be dependent on those guys as far as if we can put together a solid group. Josh Myers, obviously, he's going to be in year 2. JRJ left guard and Royce Newman at right guard. Those right tackle and left tackle spots with the injuries are just kind of up in the air right now, so we'll see how that rolls. What are your thoughts on Amari going into this year? Slow skittle. I got Amari repping over here to my right. I got to chat with him last year before the Lions game on Monday night. Dropped my jersey over to him. He signed it for me. I think last year was a little weird. Obviously, he never got any offensive play time, really. He was just on punt return and looked uncomfortable back there, clearly, that we all saw. I think he's going to have a good year, although he has been with the 2s all training camp because Randall Cobb's been with the 1s. So that's just kind of – we haven't heard much about him. Probably won't hear much about him unless he starts going up with the 1s, making some plays. But I think he tweeted a couple weeks ago about how he's lost a little weight. He's quicker. So I'm excited for Amari. I don't think he had the best chance last year as far as opportunities go, but I'm excited for him. I'm rooting for him, hoping for the best because we're going to need him. He was a 3rd rounder. You hate to see that go to waste. FF Pack Princess. Will you be reporting while you're up there? So I'm going up Friday night, family night with my wife and daughter, and then my parents are going to join me too. So I won't be doing much reporting as far as family night. I think it's televised, at least it is here where I live here in Iowa. And I don't know if you can really bootstrap that if you're out of the area. I know Wisconsin statewide, it's televised, which is nice for those who can't go. Saturday, no practice. Just going to be hanging up around Lambo. Sunday practice, Monday practice, and then I'll be back in 2 weeks. So I won't be doing too much reporting. I'll probably take a couple videos during the sections that you can. I know they're kind of strict on as far as what you can take videos of, what you can't. I'll be doing a little bit of reporting, nothing too professional. If you want to get the training camp scoop, go ahead and follow Andy Herman, NFL on Twitter. He reports training camp like a game, really. Tells you exactly what's going on throughout the whole practice. So he's a good follow if you're kind of missing out on what's going on. I've been reading a lot of articles saying we may cut Lewis. What are your thoughts on the tight end room? Brownelli, Isaac. I haven't seen anything as far as Mercedes Lewis getting cut. I would be shocked. I just don't think it's going to happen. Tight end room's a little hasn't been talked about a whole lot. Tyler Davis, can't forget about Dominique Daphne. Every time I watched him on a kickoff or kick return, he's just thumping heads. Mercedes Lewis, and then obviously Tunyon. We'll see how Robert comes back, hopefully sooner than later. Cutting Mercedes, though, I just don't see happening, as far as being a blocker, and they're relying. He's out there all the time, blocking in pass sets, run sets. I just don't see Mercedes getting cut. Anthony Perez on Facebook. Let's take a moment to appreciate our defense's training camp. They're giving the offense fits, and this is a great way to develop some of these rookie offensive weapons. Completely agree, Anthony. I think this is the first time in a long time that I've been more excited for the defense than I have for the offense. So on paper, it looks legit. I think they got 7 first-rounders in the starting defense, which is insane. And, on paper, they look insane. But game action's different than going up against, your own guys on the offense. And our offense is filled with a lot of rookies on the line and young guys in the receiver group. So I will wait till week 1 to kind of definitively. Yeah, I'm still hoping top 5 would be great. It's a guaranteed Super Bowl in my mind, so we'll see though. Jay Work, what veteran free agent do you want signed? That's a good question. I think everybody was kind of hoping for a receiver, but Coach and Goody were talking about, hey, we are not interested in signing a receiver. We're cool with our guys. If we have a couple injuries there, I could see him signing somebody as far as a receiver. I don't have any names for a veteran free agent, but I think the backup edge rusher spot is a spot they might look outside of the building for. I know Tipa's out there. I know they got a Hamilton out there for the 3 and 4, and they've been doing okay. Tipa had a good day yesterday, but I don't see him signing a veteran free agent anywhere outside of maybe the edge rusher spot, maybe safety. But with Quay being able to kind of do that linebacker safety stuff, and I'm seeing Amos and Savage back there, my bet would be in the edge rusher spot. Jay Work, thanks for the question. I appreciate it. Nate Koenig, 45 on Instagram. How much do we see 12 play in the preseason, if anything at all? Well, last year we didn't see much of him, and we went out week 1 and just kind of pooped the bed, really. Got smoked. So not sure if that's a direct correlation as far as him not playing, but I think we'll see a little bit more this year, maybe, getting more acclimated with Josh Myers since he missed some time with injury last year. New O-line group, new receivers. I don't think that last year's Saints game had much to do with the preseason. I don't think there's a whole lot of connection with playing guys in the preseason or the starters in the preseason and then how they come out in week 1. Last year was just odd. We were supposed to play down in the Saints. And then I got moved to Tampa or Jackson. I got moved to Jacksonville, and the stands were half full. It just didn't seem like a week 1 vibe, and I think they came in slow and got smoked. So, Brandy Lewis on YouTube. Thank you for coming on YouTube. Who steps in and blocks instead of Lazard? I assume he will not be asked to block like he did. That's a good question. I think he will still block, a decent amount. But, yeah, with him being the number 1, I think you're right. He probably won't be asked to block as much. But Romeo Doubs, they said he's been a solid blocker. Christian Watson was a solid blocker when he was in college. Obviously, you got Mercedes. We'll see. That's a good question. I don't really have a definitive answer to, but I do agree with you. He probably won't be asked to be that solid, blocker the whole time to basically like he did last year. Backpack Jack 13 Coon. I hope you're not referring to my jersey. I'm rocking a Leroy Butler jersey today, 36, depending on how you can see it if you're on Instagram or YouTube. Instagram, you can see 36. YouTube, you cannot see the numbers. So I'm rocking Leroy. Jay Hill, do you see wide receiver Rodgers getting cut? I don't. No, unless he has, just an awful training camp. I could see them maybe trading him for something, but I just don't see that happening. I think so far he's done solid. You haven't seen much on him, positive or negative. So sometimes no news is good news. So I do not see Amari getting cut. LaQuadric233 on Instagram. If the Packers can't get over the hump, how many years do you think Aaron Rodgers will be our quarterback? That's a good question. I think if we do win the Super Bowl this year, it'd probably be a good time for him to retire. You know how his contract is lined up. Everybody already knows as far as the dead cap and whatnot for next year and the year after. They'll figure out a way to get that taken care of if he does retire this year. But I don't know if I'm alone on this, but I would rather take a Super Bowl and retire after this year than him playing for another 3 years and not having no guaranteed Super Bowl. That's just me. So I think most people would probably agree with me on that one. Will the Packers be able to afford a Jenkins extension? Elton, yeah, he's going to be coming up for a big one. And since he can play all 5 positions, he'll probably want tackle money because center and guard just doesn't add up like tackles do. They'll find a way. Russ Ball always does. We have to keep him. He's a drafted guy. He's a stud. I can't say definitively if we can afford it because I know Russ Ball will, he'll make some things work and he'll get that done. I'm not too worried about that. Jalen Wagner, thanks for joining. I appreciate you, man. What do we got? Backpack Jack. Coon's my favorite player. Good. You can see the 36, so it's not Coon. Yeah, Coon's a stud. Thankful for him blocking Julius Peppers on that fourth and 8 in Chicago. Tyler Lennon, thanks for hopping on. Will Walker augment the edge of occasion? Will Walker augment the edge of occasion as well? Yeah, I can see that. He's a big dude. He's fast. That's what I keep seeing all day long. Every time we have practice, is how fast Quay Walker is and how big he is when you see him in person, as opposed to just on video or in picture. He's a big dude. So with the edge rusher spot outside of Preston and Rashawn kind of being in question, I could see him getting a little work there as well. So thanks, Brandy. That was a good question. All right, everybody. That's it. This is kind of what I'm here for. Just casual, hanging out. No script, no agenda. Just talking with you guys. So one last one before I hop off here. It's a good one to end on because it's an easy question. Brown, Yelly, Isaac. Should the Packers bring back Kevin King for depth? Nope. No, thank you. I was always on the camp that Kevin King is probably a better cornerback four than most teams' cornerback fours. But I'm cool with it being the end of the Kevin King era. There's a couple things I'm not going to bring up that you guys already all know. Certain plays in certain games against certain teams in certain years that we had a great chance to win it all. He didn't show up or he just played poorly. So that's that. Thank you, Isaac, for the question. We're going to end on that one. That's I'm going to call it a day here. Rob's Table Talk, episode 2 of what will be an ongoing series. So if you're on here with me this early, you are ingraining yourself as one of the OGs, so I appreciate it. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. For a few weeks, that is the only place I'll be going live each day. So the link is in the description of this video. Links in my bio on Instagram, and it's also on the website, gbpdaily.com. Kind of doing the Instagram, Facebook, just kind of, bring awareness to everybody. Say, hey, I'm hanging out each morning, chatting Packers. And that's it. Just hanging out. Nothing crazy going on. A little 15, 20-minute sesh each day. Hanging out. So thanks again for joining, and I will see you guys tomorrow.